Hi, Dr. Becca here with Del Mar Center for Behavioral Health. I wanted to talk for a couple minutes about a question that parents ask frequently, and that is, why are there so many people working with my child? Or why are there so many different RBTs, registered behavior technicians, working with my child? And there's a couple answers or a couple reasons for that, at least at Del Mar. One of them is that we always want to be working towards generalization. And generalization is when you learn something in one setting and you're able to apply it in another setting. And that's really the goal, right? So if I'm learning Italian and I'm only practicing it here in my office, the goal is not to just be able to speak Italian in my office, but to be able to speak Italian when I go to Italy or with family, or when I'm listening to a podcast in Italian, right? I want to be able to generalize that skill of speaking in Italian outside the environment where I learned it, right? So our kids with autism often have a hard time generalizing skills. So they may learn how to do one thing in one setting and then have a difficult time generalizing it to another setting. And generalization across settings is one type of generalization, but there's also generalization across different people and across different materials. And so by having multiple people working with your child, it really builds in generalization. So if I'm learning Italian and I have 3 different Italian teachers or teachers teaching me Italian, that I'm already practicing that same skill with different people. And that keeps me always working on it with different people in the slightly different ways that somebody might teach me Italian. It also gives me different examples. So let's say one teacher teaches me using a soap opera, and another one teaches me using a text, and another teaches me using a radio. So different people using different materials, again, is going to help with generalization. And so when we're talking about a child with autism, they're learning the same thing and practicing the same thing with different people, using different materials and in different settings. And so having a variety of different RBTs working with your child is also a way that we're working on generalization. Another reason is really practical, and that's scheduling. When there's only one person working with a child, if that person is out sick or moves or has a scheduling conflict where they're no longer available at a certain time, that leaves your child going without services, or having to start all over with somebody new. That can take some time, and so it's often easier to have a few different people working with the child in order to get the child the intensity of services that's being recommended. Another reason is because you deserve the best, and so does your child. And I would be lying if I said that we are all at our best all the time. We just aren't. And so by having frequent changes in staff, that keeps things new and novel for both staff and for our kids. And so we're capitalizing on that newness, right, which can be really helpful. When something is new, we're more interested and more attentive, and constantly switching to different, not constantly, but frequently switching to different staff or different materials or different environments can be really helpful to keep us interested. And when we're interested, we're more motivated, and when we're motivated, we learn better. And the goal is to have as many minutes as possible being used in active skill acquisition. And so when our kids are more engaged, more motivated, they're learning more at a quicker rate. And so those are some of the reasons why there's staffing changes, or that your child might be working with more than one registered behavior technician. Another reason might be to be sure to help keep that professional relationship. In one of the other videos, we talk about dual relationships, and that's the idea that a person is both an RBT and maybe goes to your church or is around you in another capacity. ABA is different in that kids often get 30 hours or 20 hours a week of service. So it's not like when you see your doctor here and there. Particularly if the RBT is coming into your home, you can really get to know that person. And that can make it easier to move into more of a friendship role than in a provider role. And so having multiple individuals on a case or on a child's treatment team can help build in some distance between providers and the family. I don't want that to sound like we don't want there to be connection, because I do. I hope that everybody is connecting with their treatment team. And research has shown time and time again that there's really this balance of connection versus separation that results in the best outcomes for kids. And so having a variety of different people on a case helps decrease the amount of time that one person is spending with a family or a child, and that can help increase the likelihood that it's a professional relationship that doesn't get personal or too personal to the point that the child may not be benefiting as much. And you might be thinking, well, gosh, if my child or I really like her or him, then we're going to do better. Right? The sort of literature is divided on that it can be helpful, but it also can be harmful in the long run. And again, what's most important is that you and your family are getting the best treatment. And having different providers can help create some of that professional space that's been shown to be most beneficial, while also repeated, having the same gals come in multiple times while also not being there every day. So maybe you're with the same gal for 6 hours instead of all 30 hours. That gives you time to connect with the person, but also to not over-connect and keeps things still professional. I think those are the main reasons when we talk about why there's multiple people on cases or why there's different changes in staffing. And if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And rest assured that things are always in the best interest for you and your family about what is really going to get you the best treatment and the best outcomes, so that you and your child are taking steps towards your goals. I appreciate you guys taking the 7-ish minutes to tune in and learn, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See you later.